It's been an eventful day in Baku on our first day of the new sprint weekend format, which meant today we saw one practice session followed by qualifying for the race on Sunday. Let's take a look at the action from practice and qualifying. The drivers had just one 60-minute session to get to grips with their cars on Baku City Circuit today, and the teams and drivers went out determined to make the most of it. After Max Verstappen set the pace at the start of the session, we quickly saw our first incident of the day as Yuki Tsunoda hit the barrier with his rear right tyre at turn 3, causing the tyre to detach from the wheel. He limped home to the pits in his damaged AlphaTauri, and that was the end of his FP1. Just a few moments later, Pierre Gasly's Alpine caught fire with a hydraulics issue, bringing out a red flag as he stopped on track in the castle section. It took a while for the fire to be extinguished and for his car to be moved off track, and this ate into the valuable time left of FP1 for the rest of the drivers and teams. Simultaneously to Gasly's incident, Kevin Magnussen stopped in turn 1 with what Haas suspect was a fuel pressure problem. Once all the cars were cleared, the session got back underway and the drivers began to switch to the soft tyres for some qualifying simulations as the teams worked to adapt their run plans for the half an hour that remained of practice. Max Verstappen ended the morning fastest ahead of Leclerc, Perez, Sainz and Norris in his upgraded MCL60, which clearly showed some improvement on their performance so far this season. The limited running in FP1 set us up for an uncertain qualifying session, but what was certain was that the straight line speed advantage of the Red Bull and the cornering speed advantage of the Ferrari was going to make for an epic battle for pole position. After both Max and Charles set an identical lap time of 1 minute 40.445 seconds, it was Charles who would come out on top to take pole around the Baku City Circuit for the third year in a row. Max Verstappen finished just 0.188 seconds behind and will line up alongside Charles on Sunday's front row. Sergio Perez put his Red Bull third ahead of the other Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, who seemed less comfortable with the car than his teammate today. After struggling for straight line speed and some braking issues earlier in the day, George Russell was knocked out in Q2 by just 4 thousandths and ended the day in P11. Meanwhile, his teammate Lewis Hamilton made it up to P5 in the Mercedes. Nick de Vries brought out our first red flag of the day in Q1 after he locked up and ran into the barriers at turn 3, ending his qualifying early. Just after the session resumed, Pierre Gasly met a similar fate as he carried too much speed into turn 3, hitting the wall and scattering debris everywhere. The two drivers will start Sunday's race in P20 and P19. It was a bad day at the office for Haas after Magnussen's quali ended with a technical issue and Hülkenberg failed to get into Q2. They'll have some work to do to make it into the points on Sunday. McLaren on the other hand had a fantastic qualifying, with both cars making it into Q3, Norris in P7 and Piastri in P10. A performance they'll no doubt be encouraged by after bringing some new upgrades to Baku. The first day of the new sprint weekend format in Baku was filled with excitement and incidents, culminating in a thrilling qualifying session that saw Charles Leclerc take pole for the third year in a row. What did you make of it? Let us know by leaving a comment, like the video and make sure to subscribe to Apex for the latest in the F1 world.